You know, one clap and sync it up.
Yes. Right now?
Yeah, you just do it.
All right, so we start off with real name, stream name, and what do you do?
Hi, my name is Yvonne Ng, and my streamer name is YVONNiE, or my username across things overall. I play video games, like stream on Twitch, and mostly stream League of Legends, Valorant, TFT, a lot of Riot game stuff, or just chatting, and what happens?
That looks such a Lord Farquaad? Yeah, Lord Farquaad. You're not gonna fuck him.
My brain just.
So I was born and raised in Calgary, Alberta for a billion years of my life, which I guess was technically like 26-ish years that I lived there for. Growing up, it was kind of strict. It was mainly just the three of us, me, my mom, and my dad. And so I was an only child. I always wanted siblings, but never got any. I remember just even going to friends' houses, they had to make sure, like, is it a boy's house? And if it was, I was never allowed to go. And if we were hanging out with boys and girls, there always had to be a ratio, like a massive, way more higher ratio of girls to guys. And then as time went on, they did get a bit, more lenient and everything, but it was really hard growing up in a household where I felt like I couldn't tell them the truth for everything. I actually did lie to my parents a lot about who I was hanging out with, because if it were just me, a girl, and a guy, that's no go, you know what I mean? So I did not like having to be dishonest with my parents in that way, but I also felt like I couldn't breathe and just live my life if I did not at the same time. So everything, all of their hopes and dreams were kind of placed on me. So growing up from a very young age, it was already like, what do you want to be? And I remember I said artist, and then my mom was like, artists don't make money, so what about a doctor or a lawyer? I'm like, I'm sure a lot of people have gotten that exact same thing too from their parents. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, of those things, like maybe I like doctor the most. But as time went on through like elementary, junior high, I came to a very quick realization that there was no way in hell that I could be a doctor, because I was just not smart enough. My grades were not there, and I also don't know if I had the correct passion. I was a lot more interested in talking to people and helping them in terms of doing more therapy or like counseling and all that kind of stuff. So when I got to high school, my dad asked me what I wanted to do, because that was when I kind of had to pick a subject or faculty to like apply to. And so I talked to him for a long time and kind of came to the conclusion that psychology was the most interesting to me. And so I tried to get into that, but then I couldn't. So then I had to get into sociology first to try to transfer midway through, which also did not happen because I did not have the best grades. Because what did I spend all my time doing? Well, you see, I just played League and Hearthstone and watched a lot of shows in my lectures. So I just ended up with a Bachelor of Arts and just majored in sociology. Now they're a lot more understanding. Obviously, I have graduated and started working and doing all that. So yeah, they softened up a lot too over time. As soon as I left the nest, they're like, okay, well, make sure you come back, okay? Don't leave forever. So I think they're scared of me not coming back, so they've been a lot nicer too. After I graduated, I was trying to find a job, and I ended up finding a job being a respite worker, or kind of a behavior therapist for kids with autism. And I did that for about 3 months or so, and ended up being super hard because it's just very mentally straining. You have to have like really strong mental for that, because you see a lot of kids go through a lot, their families go through a lot. So it was ultimately something that I couldn't do every day or continue to do. So then I decided to quit and then work or try to find jobs at an office or offices or other places. And I ended up stumbling across a HR team member job opening at Target. So this is when Target was still open in Canada. And then I worked there for about 6 months, and I loved it there. And then it was announced that all the Targets in Canada were closing down, which means we were all gonna lose our jobs. So I was really devastated, because it was the first job that I found since graduating that I really, really, really liked and enjoyed. I ended up being a human resources member for a casino, and I didn't really like it there that much, and I was there for about 6 months, and then I moved on to UPS. UPS was better, and it was more fun there because I had friends that were in my department, so that was really great. The people there were really nice, but it was still ultimately not what I felt like I wanted to do. I would still stream in between my contract positions because some of them would be during holidays or when they needed more people and all that kind of stuff. So I would have breaks in between where I had no job or nothing to do. So I would stream, and I remember as I was streaming, I would think like, oh, I wish I could do something in gaming. So then I moved to California, and through Celine, got a job through Pokey. So Pokey was looking for someone to help her out, an assistant to help her out with a bunch of stuff. So I ended up helping her out for a bit until she mentioned that OTV was looking for a house manager. It worked out, so I ended up moving down to LA and just lived at the offline TV house. And I remember it was so different because I'd never lived with people before. Back home in Calgary, I lived with my parents, and even through college, I went to a college. I was in my city. I went to University of Calgary, so I would just drive there from home. But yeah, I remember waking up and I would hear piano playing in the basement, and I was like, wow, that's so nice, because Lily would just be playing Kingdom Hearts or something, and my life, as I was going through that, felt very surreal. I was like, whoa, this is nice, this is so cool, I love it. Everyone there was super welcoming. I think other than Yvonne, who I already knew at the time, the first person to talk to me there was Skara. I had a meeting with Skara in the basement, and he was right away really, really nice to me. There were a lot of things that we went through that I feel like brought us really close together, and I regard them as a very important second family, if not like quite family. Since then, we moved into a new house every year. There were like new arcs every year. I just really don't even know where the time went. It felt like it was so long ago, but at the same time, it feels like a lot of things work-wise or other things have not changed too much. I don't even know how to describe it, but I just feel like I was along for the ride, and suddenly I'm here.
We're the most Asian out of all of us! Oh! That's crazy! That's so crazy!
I remember when I started streaming more after I joined, it was the community, everyone super welcoming, and it was so funny to see people with the memes and everything that were on the subreddit or comments and all that kind of stuff, and that got me a lot more immersed with our community, and I just love it so much, and I'm super appreciative that everyone was so welcoming when I joined or when I started appearing in things, and yeah, it made me feel like I had kind of found a place or thing that I genuinely love being a part of and doing, which was crazy because when I was back in Calgary working my positions there, I just remember feeling like I don't know if I would ever be able to do something I love for work, and I felt miserable. But living with and joining OTV has been one of the best things that ever happened to me because like I said before, just having that sense of family and belonging to a group feels so nice. Just feeling like I'm so comfortable and can trust everyone there. And also, I love our dynamics. I love doing shoots. The shoots are always just so fun despite Broden's sick torment. But honestly, it's fun and a great kind of bonding activity for all of us to do. I feel like we're in school a lot of times where we just like we have like a school play we could do or school activities, and it's such like a different feeling. And yeah, I just think if I wasn't a part of OTV in the first place, like none of this would have ever happened. So I'm very grateful for that. Also, shout out to my roomies. I love hanging out with them too and living with them. It's been amazing, and I just love living with people that I also feel really close to. I feel like it's just, everything has been awesome.
What do you hate about Yvonne?
Yeah, what do you hate about
She's not around enough. She's touching too much grass. And I'm
Where
gonna
have
say
you been for the workouts?
She doesn't
Where is she?
She's touching grass. She's going to concerts. She's social.
At first, it was kind of difficult trying to explain to my friends back home what I was trying to do or what I was interested in, because back then, streaming was very new, meeting people online was kind of new. I don't think my friends back home understood that as much until it started becoming something that I did find a bit more success in or other things. So that was a little difficult in the beginning because I didn't know how to explain to them. I'm like, oh, I'm trying out this thing and I don't know if it's gonna work because it has such a lack of security in it. At that time, it seemed crazy because I had just gotten out of like a 7-year relationship that was so long. So this person that they've seen me dating forever. And then I was kind of like, oh, I like games now. I used to play a lot of badminton and sports and everything, and then I ended up just being at home all the time playing video games. So they obviously were concerned, and there were reasons for why it felt like you're kind of going off the rail or whatever it is, because like your relationship and you're no longer really hanging out with friends that much. You just want to play games all day. So yeah, there's definitely a reason as to why they were not as supportive and all that kind of stuff in the beginning, but they also didn't really understand it. And to be honest, I didn't really understand it myself that much either. I just liked it. But yeah, now they totally get it, and I love going back home to visit and kind of sharing like what's been up and everything. And they like asking me what's been going on. I like seeing the updates with them too. Some of my friends already have kids. They have a family. They're married. They have babies, and they're still like the person that I watched Prince of Tennis with in like second year of college when we were just watching it on our laptop and we had to face it on the window where no one could see that we were watching Prince of Tennis in the library. Now he has a kid. So I'm just like, that is just so crazy to me because I can't picture, we're all still kids to me that I can't picture us being parents. That's what my life could have been. I could possibly be already married, have maybe I could have been pregnant like at this exact time, you know, but I definitely am glad that things turned out this way for me because I feel like a lot of time has been pushed back for people. And I feel like as time goes on, people kind of want to live out their lives a bit more, which is what I want to do. And I'm not even thinking about having kids until I'm about 40 or something, you know, which is why I decided to do my thing with the eggies. I got my eggs extracted and frozen so that they would be healthy if I ever did want to get pregnant at a later time in life. But yeah, that was something that I didn't think I would ever do in my life. I thought by this age back then when I was a kid that I would already be ready to have kids or be married, but I'm neither. So yeah.
I have 31 mature eggies that they took out. It's good to know that I have the option if I ever want to have 31 kids. Or I have one kid and the rest of them go to the highest bidders. Anybody?
So moving from Canada to California, there were some adjustments, but not too much. I felt like Canada and the States are kind of more similar than a lot of places to each other, but it was definitely still different. I feel like a lot of people, also especially in LA, there's a lot of main character energy. Like everyone here is living their life, like they're busy, they're very focused on themselves or what they want to achieve. And yeah, in Canada, everyone seemed more kind of peaceful. A lot of people played by the rules and by the books. You can go to McDonald's and be like, hey, can I get an extra sauce sometimes? Because they're like, oh, we only give out 2 sauces. But in America, people don't care. They're like, here, take 5, you know? So everything did seem different here in terms of a little bit of culture. And I also visited Hong Kong recently, and I think that if I were to live anywhere for about a year or anything like that, I would really love to live in Hong Kong because I think it's so underrated. It's like amazing there. It is New York, but on crack. Like it's just, well, Asian New York maybe, but you can walk everywhere. There's places to see constantly. The food is amazing. It has one of the best foods I've ever had anywhere traveling. It's like an international business hub, so there's like a bunch of Michelin star restaurants. We would go to a fairly high rated place and there's a good 50-50 chance it's either a Michelin star restaurant or a Michelin guide restaurant. And so the food there was actually just the best. Yeah, I think that'd be a cool place to live. Or Japan for a bit. It's just, Japan is a little harder because I feel like you actually have to know Japanese to get around there and stuff, or to yeah, just travel more comfortably there, versus in Hong Kong it was more because it is international and stuff, and they're really friendly to English speakers. So it's actually really easy to get around. They knew roughly kind of like, oh, $40. Oh, for how many? 4 people here? Stuff like that. Yeah. So when I first started streaming more, I was really addicted to League of Legends. So League of Legends was my game for a really long time. And I basically just played it a lot for fun before. I would just get diamond and then I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is good. I'm just gonna get diamond and then spam normals and all the casual parts with my friends. And I liked that for a really long time. And at some point, I remember I felt like if I wanted to stream League full time, which I did want to do at some point, I would have to be better, or I wanted to be better, to play better on stream and to just have somewhat more credibility, or just also really started liking the competitive aspect of the game. I think before I had ranked anxiety and I was scared to play ranked. And then once I got over that, I could just spam solo queue and it was totally fine. Maybe that's psychotic of me, I'm not sure, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I remember I would just have 8 hours a day where I'm just playing solo queue all day, and I was totally fine with that. And if I did well, I would be so happy. But if I had a loss streak, I would be so sad. League emotions are so polarizing. I feel like I don't feel the same with Valorant, but League just makes you feel something very, very strongly, whether it's good or bad. I got Masters, and I would get Masters kind of like I got it for like 2 seasons, but I always got it at the end because I would like rush to rank at the end and try to make it. So it was always like low Masters. But I learned a lot from the game, which was really nice. And I remember Scara saying like, you could try and go for Challenger if you wanted to, but you'd really have to dedicate all of your life and everything into it. And I was just thinking, for one, I don't even know if I could do it. And then 2, it's allocating that much time to League of Legends. When I already allocated that much time just to try to get Masters, I already felt like other parts of my life were kind of in shambles a bit. Not super in shambles, but I want to spend time with my friends that I wasn't doing because I was playing solo queue. I wanted to work on other aspects of my life, like kind of other hobbies or socializing and just improving as like a human if possible. And I don't think I could have done that continuing to play solo queue with a budget. No, I'm just kidding. So it's just kind of like weighing what's more important and what you want to do with your life eventually, right? So I weaned off League of Legends, and then Valorant came out. I remember us having the bronze squad. It was like, or iron squad. It was like me, Lily, Saikuno, Myung, Leslie, Brooke, and other people back then when we were all trying to learn. And it was really fun, just all of us sucking and then just trying to get better at a game while having like chaotic games all over the place because we didn't know what we were doing. And I see us now, I'm like, wow, so much of us have improved so much. Some people definitely improved way more than others, but like, you know, don't worry, I will be here to be the one at the bottom so that no one has to be last. I'm just glad because not everyone played League, but a lot more of our friends played Valorant, so it's kind of a great way to be able to play with a lot of people in our friend group. So I love that, and I also like having more aspects of my life that I feel like are more put together now. I'm starting to socialize a lot more. Some of my housemates have also said that I go out a lot. I don't do that as often now because I never had a partying phase in college or anything like that. So this was technically my little phase for about a year, and then now I'm kind of getting tired. So that's falling off. I still go out though because I love meeting people, and I think constantly meeting people is a great thing. And you don't have to like everyone that you meet, but you can, like, you'll never meet people that could be great if you don't put yourself out there. And an example is like I met like Andy and Michelle this year, and I freaking love them, and I would have never met them if I had not put myself out there by going to things. There's some people that you just vibe with that you're like, oh, I'm really glad I met you, and I just want to have more of those moments. I think that's what really encourages me to keep doing so, just moderate amount, because I had my fun, and then now I'm kind of like, okay, well, now I'll go out when people make plans. Before I used to rally people like, let's go out this week, let's do this week. And then we go karaoke with Peter and Danny and everyone, and it's a blast, but no, everyone's getting tired. So I guess what I want to eventually do is hopefully, you know, a lot of people keep things under wraps and stuff because they don't want to say anything until it happens. Maybe I should just say it so I kind of manifest it in a way, but I really want to do hair accessories. I really, really want to make a hair accessories line. I'm nowhere near close right now, but it's just been something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I want to do more stuff with cooking because I love cooking, so more vlogs or more little like content things. I just want to dabble in a bunch of things and just see what I like. I know it's better probably to lean something more specific and consistent in terms of content, because then whether it's on TikTok or whatever platform, you have a very cohesive kind of subject of content and everything. But I don't think I like anything enough to do that other than gaming. So until I find something, I would just like to have a bits of parts of everything that I like, because that's what makes up a person anyway. You have a bunch of different things that you like to do and maybe dabble in, because committing to something strictly for that one specific type of content or something is kind of scary. I don't want to do like all just cooking content. I want to do kind of lifestyle or other things. So it could be whatever you may feel or need or go through in life. It can be relatable or enjoyable to watch. Well, actually when COVID hit and we were kind of more stuck in the Among Us era, or I was playing League of Legends a lot at the time, and then there was also Among Us. But that was kind of when I came out of League and just started doing other things. I started vlogging, I started doing other things because it just felt like it helped with my mental a lot more to not just be stuck to League all the time. Yeah, it was an especially hard time, and I think I realized that I used League as like an escape or as a way to, basically just escape things in real life that just were not going that well for me or that I was avoiding. And it was a really hard time. And then afterwards, when certain things were solved, I felt so much more free as a person. I actually noticed like myself changing, which is crazy because I don't think you notice how suppressed or how clouded you are by doing certain things and then not realizing you're not relating those certain things to how you feel. I don't even think I knew exactly how I was feeling until when it was gone. I felt so much more lifted. Like I noticed myself being more expressive with friends, enjoying myself more with friends, or just having a way better time. And even my friends could see eventually, they're like, whoa, you seem way more like open now, or like more like kind of out there as like a person. Yeah, I just didn't feel as reserved or as whatever anymore, and it was just crazy that like other things had such a looming effect on me. But I'm really glad that everything worked out the way that it did, because I feel so much more like myself now. Like actually, like this is whatever I am, like I get to just be. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels really, really nice, and maybe it can help other people to kind of think about, is there something in my life that's causing me to not feel like I can be as expressive or be as myself, because sometimes there are things and we don't know it. Although I still would lean towards Valorant or a lot of Riot Games stuff, I do like doing more different things now. Like I want to do more cooking streams, I want to do more just chatting streams, and I really like doing more IRL streams. I wish I had a backpack or something like that. I would do that a lot more. But yeah, it's just more variety, I guess, and more IRL content makes me feel sometimes more productive and more like I'm reaching out to more people than sometimes just sitting there and playing Valorant. Although I love that. So of course there's going to be a lot of that, because that's like the best chill thing to do and also have fun at the same time. And then also having that part of us who love playing games, of course, which is why we got here in the first place, is just they'll always be there. So
Catch rotation flanker thingies.
Yvonne? Toxin screen down. Yvonne pooped out her ult.
Oh,
That was nice. What?
in terms of kind of advice that I would give to other people or things that maybe I would have told myself previously, is I think who you surround yourself with is really important. I think having like a strong sense of morals or idea of what kind of person you want to be, and then yeah, kind of assembling like a good support group or friend group that kind of would help you flourish the most in that. I think for a long time, I love the friends that I made along the way, but I also people please a lot, or maybe at times did not kind of cut ties with people who were toxic in some ways. I think you'd be surprised how much better you could do in a more positive mental like environment and all that kind of stuff. So I think just Really trying to have a good idea as best you can of what you want to do with a goal in mind, and then just try your best to navigate through there that way, because it's a lot harder when you don't really know what you want. But then again, do we ever know what we want when we're like in our early years? I feel like we don't. I didn't know shit. I didn't know what I wanted to do until like later on when I tried a bunch of things that I didn't like. It kind of geared me more towards the things that made me more firm or sure of the things that I do like. So maybe the key is just trying a bunch of things and then seeing what sticks more to you. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's a secret. Woo! Thanks for having me, and thanks for doing this. Yeah.